What's up, YouTube? You checking out the Frequent Flyer, and this here is the JXD Flying Car. Now the name is pretty much self-explanatory. This thing is a road machine combined with a quadcopter, and it's actually implemented quite well. I'm really liking the design of the car. The car reminds me of the Mach 5. All you speed racer fans out there, it does look like it actually. Just a different color. And actually, red's my favorite color. I would have rather had the red version here on the box, but I was unable to find that one. I purchased this car from a store called As Seen on TV, which recently opened up in the mall near my job. So I was pretty happy to be able to just grab it and walk out with it, as opposed to waiting for it to be shipped from online. Now, let's talk about the car aspect of this machine. The car it's not bad, but it's just not the best. It's just average. Mainly being that these wheels are so small. To give you an idea what these wheels are like, you ever see the cars that you buy at the supermarket and you sort of pull them back and then let them go and they'll go racing ahead? That's the type of wheels that this thing has. So they're really small with rubber tires on them. They'll do well on like marble floors or hardwood floors, but anything bumpy it would have trouble with. It actually rides over bumps and cracks, but it's not that good on things like grass or anything like that, because there's no suspension or anything like that with this thing. But it works well if you're on a smooth surface. It's actually fully functional. It goes forward, backwards, it's left and right turn. It has different rates actually. The rates actually affect the speed of the car, how fast the car would drive. It's not bad, but just not the best. I really wish that the wheels were larger, and maybe adding shocks here or suspension would probably be asking too much. It'll probably add too much weight to this thing. I'm guessing maybe that's the way they made it as simple as they did. It has front headlights. The headlights are white and the back LEDs are red, which is normal for a car. I really like that implementation of the LEDs. I like the fact that you can't see the LEDs from the side, because a lot of times when I'm flying at night with quadcopters, when you can see the LEDs from the side, I don't know if it's just me, but that seems to screw me up with the orientation when the quad gets farther away from me. It's harder for me to see. It seems like the LEDs are just mashed together there. So I think that's a plus, that the LEDs are separated like that. That way, if it's far away, I would be able to easily tell that the quadcopter's facing me, and if it's facing away from me, and there's no in between. You know, if it's sideways, I'm not getting any lights. I would know to adjust the yaw until I would see one of the LEDs. But that's to be seen as I take it out. One day I shall take it out for a night flight. Back to the quadcopter. The props are fairly large, and I think that's a good thing. I think they made the props larger to compensate, to give it more lift, being as though it's carrying a whole car body here. So, but actually I really like the props being that big. It actually gives this quad a little power. You know, it flies forward pretty fast. It's really fast. The yaw rate is really good and fast, so you can actually do circuits indoors with this thing. It's a great indoor flyer as well as outdoors. It flips really well. That's when the battery is full. when the battery is a fresh battery, it'll flip real nice and tight. But once the battery starts to die down, I've found that this thing flips and it kind of has a hard time recovering. But I would expect that from something this heavy. It's not really that heavy, but it's heavier than the average quad of its size. Now the transmitter is really nice. This is the transmitter. These buttons here on the transmitter are fake. Only this one here is a real button, and this is the button that you press to switch it from quadcopter to car. It starts out on driving mode, so the throttle actually doesn't do anything when you're in car mode. In car mode, you just use this side over here to go forward and back and left and right. It takes some getting used to, but it's doable. I've really been able to control it really well with this thing. And the rates, like I said, the rates actually change when you switch the rates. Now once you push this button and it switches to quadcopter mode, this side, it becomes mode 2. So this is your throttle here as normal, and you know the to bank left and right is over this side, and to go forward and backwards. The flip button is up here. I don't know why it says turn, but that's the flip button there. It'll execute automatic flips after you hit this button, but you have to hold it and hit the direction that you want to flip at the same time. It has the trim buttons. You have all your trims on here. What else? The transmitter only takes 4 AA batteries, so I'm liking that. You don't have to use a whole bunch of batteries with this thing. I think that's all there is to say about this quad, really. Let me think, is there anything else? I think that's really all. Oh yeah, let me show you the bottom here. There's a hatch that you have to open up to put remove the battery, to charge the battery. The battery has this type of connector. It's pretty common with quadcopters this size, and you sort of just connect it there. But it also has an on and off switch. So once you connect the LiPo battery inside here, and it's a 500 milliamp hour LiPo 25C. So once you connect it, you can just lay it in there like that. You put the hatch back on, and then you have your on and off switch there. I think that's pretty nice that you have the option to just turn it off without having to disconnect the LiPo. So that's all there is to say about this quad. So let's check out some flight footage. Oh yeah, one other thing before we go to the flight footage, I forgot to show you guys that under here there's a trim. The trim for the car, the steering, is actually underneath the bottom. So if you find yourself going to the right a little, then you just adjust it under here. You hit it 1 or 2 notches maybe to the other side. So let's go check out the flight footage. Okay, I'm outdoors with the JXD Flying Car. Let's see. I'm flying it with the stock transmitter. Well, driving it and flying it. Let's see how it drives a little. The wheels on this thing are really small, so even these cracks here are a bit of a challenge for it, but it seems to be doing quite well. A little bumpy. Okay, let's switch to flying. Start off with 60%. I like the lights on this thing. I like to try it out at night to see how it fares at night. I think it'll do pretty well, being as though the lights are on the back and on the front, and you can't really see them from the side. I think that'll play well for me, whereas sometimes when the quad gets far enough away, you can't really tell the orientation still by the lights. They seem to be all squashed together or whatnot. Let's see, the yaw rate is pretty nice on this. It's a little windy out here. Maybe I should switch to 100% rates. Yeah, it's quite a bit wind blowing out here. Seems to be getting pushed around a little, but it's faring well, I guess. Yeah, this thing is handling that. I guess the props being so big is playing in its favor. Whoa! Let's check out the flips. Whoa, all the way to the ground. Well, yeah, the battery isn't fully charged, so I'm not really expecting it to flip too well. And this thing is a pretty good flyer, though. Now, the driving portion of it is, I guess, okay. The wheels are pretty small, so you can't really roll over like grass or anything like that, but it's okay with driving it on like marble floors or something like that. Any smooth surface shouldn't be a problem. It should fare well. See, you can fly circuits really easy with this. It's getting pushed around a lot by the wind now out here. Yeah, this thing handles wind pretty well. The yaw rate seems to stay the same on all rates, all pitch rates. Seem to yaw at the same speed. Yeah, this thing is pretty awesome. I really like it. Well, I guess that's all there is to show with this thing. It flies like a champ. So let's see if I can bring it in for a landing on this table over here. Okay, so that's it. The JXD Flying Car. Thanks for watching.